All right. Good morning, Slush. It was very fun to sit here and have you guys look at us for a minute while the video was going. Great video, by the way.
Thanks. It was the script is mine, but it was implemented by my daughter Nelly.
Okay, cool. I mean, the news is really big, 400 million, and I mean, Hannu not only did this exit, but he made 3 exits. And that's really impressive. And it gets even more impressive when you find out that the 3 exits were all from one company. So he managed to get 3 exits from Stonesoft. They did an IPO, then there was a secondary exit, and then there was the final acquisition by Intel McAfee. So, and we're here to talk about the story of how it all happened. And we talked really about really interesting things backstage. And we're talking about the idea. You start as a consulting company in databases. And how important do you think is it to have a great idea? And what's your take on that?
I think that if you are kind of bootstrapping like us, you are very free with your kind of business idea, and you can develop it further on. And for example, for us, it was that we had a great team. We had worked together with Mr. Ilkka Heidenheimo at Oracle, and we just wanted to do it together.
Okay, but I mean, you told me backstage that you think that idea does not necessarily matter. It's all about the people.
Yeah, that's true. So we worked with very complicated databases, consulting them, and then one day we got an order from Telia Sonera to study a possibility to build a high availability firewall utilizing very new technology by Israeli checkpoint, and then we kind of drifted to the high availability firewall business, which also was the subject and an interest for our IPO.
So what is your advice would be to the people here that have great ideas, they really believe in them, but as you said, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have an idea to kind of succeed. You can build on your passion and what you believe in. So what would be your advice to the audience here about their startups?
I would say that if you have the passion to work as an entrepreneur and you have kind of good guys around you, you can start almost on whatever. The reason is that the world is full of unsolved problems, but that probably will keep you more on a kind of bootstrapping side. If you want outside funding, they probably will force you on a much more focused approach.
And it's good. It's interesting that you mentioned funding. I mean, you were making your company in the 1990s, and nowadays every startup pretty much knows the path they have to take. You have to go to the angel, and then you have to look for VCs, and then you have to do the A round, the B round, etc. But in the 1990s, the story was different. You were bootstrapping completely. And do you think that's a good thing, or is it a bad thing? Is it good that we have like a kind of a really easy, well, not easy, I wouldn't say it easy, but like a clear approach to what we need to do compared to what you had to do?
So the landscape is Dimitri, really kind of fully different at the moment, and I guess that also the speed of things is such that probably in most of the cases you better get funding to speed up what you are doing. The competition is kind of keen, the information is open for everyone in the world. There is no area where the competition wouldn't be there within a couple of months if that idea and if that business is interesting for the funding and making money purposes.
Okay, so I mean, again, to the people in the audience, do you think they should follow this path of trying to get angel money, or should they try as much as they can to bootstrap and do something themselves? I mean, it probably is a pretty good thing for your exit values as well, and you know.
Yeah, you're right, but I would love to refer to my kind of favorite writer, Franz Kafka's famous book, The Process. And then the guy was waiting at the outside the courthouse and for years, and he didn't see anyone going in. And at the end of the day, he found out that there was a door for everyone.
Very good. And I mean, we also talk with you backstage about the importance of the team and the people that were with you, and that was also a part of the video, that you have to have those superheroes to be on your team. So how do you make sure that you get those people? I mean, you're in a huge competition. There's like great big players trying to hire all the best talent. The startups that have funding, they also, offer everything, but here you are bootstrapping. How do you get those really good people on your side when you cannot offer them money or something exciting?
To be honest, my colleague and best friend Ilkka Hiidenheimo, with whom we built the business, is extremely picky person. And until we were something like 20-25 people, I think that we had the best team kind of ever. But then, as we started to scale up the business, we couldn't kind of keep that quality level anymore, but still we could make it.
Okay, but I mean, what were some things you tried to do to kind of attract really good talent? I mean, clearly you must have had really talented people in the company if you were able to exit at such a value.
I think that the only way at that time to succeed in the business we were that we had to hire very young people and train them. There was no education, for example, on network security at that time, or even embedded programming, and we just were able to get the best people from Helsinki University of Technology, or today's Aalto University, and also Helsinki University, and also one of the biggest things as an entrepreneur is to see those young people really develop to the top of the world in their skills.
Great. So advice, get them young, applies here as well. That's great.
Yeah.
So, I mean, one other thing that we were talking about is, sacrifices you have to make as an entrepreneur. I mean, you really have to spend a lot of time doing everything, and I think a lot of the panels here at any conference focus so much on actual entrepreneurial things, what you do at the company. But what about the sacrifices you had to make in your family life and in the time spent and your hobbies? And how do you deal with that? How do you make sure that you can work so much, but at the same time kind of be a person that kind of cares about the family and keeps everyone happy?
I don't know any colleague, any CEO who wouldn't be forced to that kind of fluctuating mode that at times you work too much and you neglect family and you neglect your friends. You don't have time for the money. You don't have time for the hobbies. And fortunately, I haven't burnt out. But very many people do that, and it's always the kind of looking and finding the balance. And one thing what I would recommend for every entrepreneur is that do find a mentor, do find a more experienced person with whom you can share your challenges in both in working life and also kind of family lives and with your other side of the life. So I've been working as a mentor for a couple of guys, and it has been very rewarding on both sides.
Cool, thank you very much. And what about the execution of it all? I mean, you were growing, there was a lot of stuff happening, you had to do a lot of things. How do you get to this IPO stage? I mean, you did the first IPO, and how do you get there? What were the main specific challenges that you had?
I guess that for a small technology company, you're not that kind of aware of those kind of duties of a public company, how to charm the investors, and for example, personally to me, doing those kind of stock sales round trips around the US and so on were very challenging, telling the story and without kind of having kind of any earlier contact with the guys, and I think that's much more better today. So the investors, they get here for good companies, and that's very great, and very much also because of this kind of events like Slush.
Okay, and I mean, the exit itself, there was 3 exits, right? And the company valuation varied between 60 million to 1.8 billion. So can you tell us how did these 3 exits occur? What was the process? You were telling a very interesting story about how to go through this kind of path.
Yeah, I guess that's also one challenge is that when the valuation of the company gets kind of quite high, just around the IPO and a little bit after that, I think that I was running the acquisition of 9 companies, so we also got kind of additional entrepreneurs in the company, and just around the secondary offering when the valuation of the company peaked 1.8 billion, I felt that quite many guys have the stock sticker at their laptop and probably didn't focus that much. So it was a disturbing factor also. And as a matter of fact, I think that probably 5 years at the IPO stage, I think that the company had something like 20 millionaires, and maybe 5 years after that, we were only me and Ilkka Hiidenheimo there.
And this is also an interesting topic of discussion. I mean, there's a lot of entrepreneurs now in Finland, in Rovio, Supercell, that became millionaires. And we've talked a little bit about that the cultures are very different between here and other countries. Here it's very humble. You know, when you make an exit, you don't really want to talk about that. And that's very different to the US, when you kind of tell everybody in the whole world that you made this huge exit and you buy, you know, everything you can. But here you kind of like try to keep quiet. Like, what do you think about this cultural difference? Is this a good thing for entrepreneurship, or is this something we here in Finland have to work on?
So the Finns probably are very well known of hating people who show off, but I think that also will be changing a bit. And if you are successful, why hide it? But the core of the kind of Finnish high working moral and ethics comes from that humbleness, and I think that that's definitely one of the most important things with the successful entrepreneur from the Finnish background.
Cool. I mean, and what are you going to do now? I mean, the company is sold completely. You're no longer the chairman, right? You are pretty much a free man. You built this great company. So what are your plans now after the exit?
So I continue working with growth companies. So I've been doing the investment during the last 12 years, some together with my friend Ilkka, and we are still working with a couple of startups, but I would like to concentrate now on companies with a bit different stage, having say 10 million euros of sales and being there, and that's why we closed an investment to a Finnish nanotechnology company, Picosun, just in September, having already sales of 13 million.
Cool. And speaking of technology, what do you think are like the most interesting technological areas that are being developed here in, well, either Finland or Northern Europe in general? What are you personally really interested in to see in the future?
There are several areas. Of course, the mobile games is very hot, and there is probably a couple of things why the Finns are very good in this kind of apps. They're both the delivery, feedback, sales, all happens fully in the digital world, and probably our engineers they love to do it at the kind of backstage. You don't have to travel that much, so not to build a sales network, and that's something probably where I see that Finns will be flourishing business-wise, but also within the other application area than gaming, also on different kind of useful apps. That's something which I think that we will be very good.
Great, thank you. Well, that's pretty much it. Our time is running out. Thank you very much to listening to our little interview here. I hope everybody enjoys Slush. I think it's an amazing event here.
Slush rocks.
Yeah, Slush rocks, especially after I found the sauna yesterday and took a swim in the Baltic Sea. That was kind of amazing. So if you've not been to the sauna, go there. You have to check it out. But thank you very much.